your garden. Today, I'm gonna share with you 3 important tips everyone needs to hear this spring. The first tip is one that I needed more of to stop the weeds that kept growing up. Wood chips are good at stopping weeds and retaining water. In my pathways, there was too many weeds and there was too much water. So what I did is I took some cardboard and placed it down in my pathways and added some mulch on top of it. You could get cardboard from Walmart and they'll be happy to give it to you. And you could get free wood chips from your local tree service if you just ask them. Now, if you don't have enough cardboard for your entire garden, that's okay because you could still just put down the wood chips and put more of it. That way, it'll stop the weeds from coming up and make it harder. In my garden, I don't like using wood chips in my raised beds because if they get mixed into the soil, they'll deplete it of nutrients. The only crops I will put wood chips on is my cucumber and my tomatoes bed because I won't have to disturb the soil at the end of the season. So instead, for my other raised bed like my lettuce, potatoes, and onions, what I'll do is I'll use a different mulch like straw or hay to stop the weeds from coming up because I have to dig up potato and onions to harvest them. The second tips are to prepare your bed because once the soil have melted enough, is come through and pull out all the weeds that are in the beds and the remains of last year's plant. If you leave the weeds, they'll grow and become harder to pull out later. After, I'll bring some manure because it is rich in nutrients and it makes our plants grow so much faster. Last year, the plants that had manure were healthier. If I had some leaves from last year, what I'll do is take the lawnmower and run them over. It'll make them smaller and help them decompose faster. It'll also stop them from blowing away once you place them on your beds. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, tell them, peck that like button. So the third tip is to start your seeds and sprout your potatoes indoors. So in April, you can either direct sow your seeds into your garden or you could start them in seedling cell trays. But starting them in a seedling tray means you can control the temperature and you can have fast germination if you use a heat mat. So I use our heat mat for starting summer crops like cucumber, squash, and melons, which is all the perfect time to sow if you're living in a more warmer climate than the snow we have here. Even though you may think it's late to start your cucumber, squash, and melon, it's better off starting them a little late because unlike your spring crops, your summer crops is going to like the warmer temperature. Now, before planting potatoes outside, you should always start them first indoors. You want to start your potatoes about 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost day. What we do with our potatoes is we place them in egg cartons and once we see those potatoes start sprouting, then we could bring them outdoors, which would be about 3 weeks, and we could plant them into our garden. But you know, spring isn't gone yet, so you could still plant these 8 crops in April. So watch the video right over here. Goodbye!